What's up everyone, and welcome back to the Bold and the Beautiful 24 official channel. Before we begin, please hit the subscribe button today. Let's get started. Finn and Bridget suspicious. Grace's secret transfer. The Bold and the Beautiful reveal it shows John Finn Finnegan and Bridget Forrester begin to get suspicious. Meanwhile, Grace Buckingham looks at her phone at a completed transaction for $1 million. Keep reading, and let's talk about what is coming up in the CBS soap opera. Nick Marone's proposition. Let's start off with Nick Marone and Brooke Logan. Nick came back to woo Brooke back to him. However, she just can't seem to move past Ridge Forrester, even though he is currently engaged to Taylor Hayes. Nick hasn't left Los Angeles yet, though. Nick tells the blonde that he's not going to let her go down that road with Ridge again. Then, Nick suggests that Brooke go on a trip to Italy with him. Bill Spencer's hope. Over at the hospital, Liam Spencer is awake. However, Grace Buckingham will keep pushing the risky treatment for the brain tumor. Bill Spencer is desperate to save his son and earn redemption. If Liam dies, Bill will never forgive himself and neither will anyone else. Bill asks Grace if his son still has hope in a preview clip. That is when Grace says there is. She probably mentions the risky treatment at this point. Liam does go into surgery again, so it seems like Grace gets her way. John Finnegan suspicious. The Bold and the Beautiful reveals that Finn is also suspicious in the preview clip. Finn talks to Bridget about something being off and not following protocol. This is likely about Liam's second operation. If Finn and Bridget get suspicious, then they could corner Grace. Grace Buckingham's secret transfer. Over with Grace, she sits in her office at the hospital on her phone. Grace looks down and sees a successful transfer for $1. Now, what is interesting is Grace seems satisfied and even relieved. So, I'm guessing that Grace is in financial trouble and likely made a deal with some shady pharmaceutical company. However, why did it have to be Liam? Does he even have a brain tumor? Could there be problems with this surgery that make Grace regret her choice? Bridget and Finn marvel, Liam's resilience, Brooke's decision. The Bold and the Beautiful in tomorrow's episode, fans can expect Liam Spencer to brace for his experimental procedure. Meanwhile, Bridget Forrester and John Finn Finnegan admire the patient's resilience. Keep reading, and let's talk about what is coming up in the next episode of the CBS soap opera. Liam Spencer's surgery. Let's start off with Liam's surgery. Fans know that he already had an operation from the gunshot wound. Although that wound is healing well, there is still a medical issue. Liam still has an inoperable brain tumor. Before Luna Nozawa's shootout, Grace Buckingham was trying to get Liam to agree to an experimental procedure. At the time, Liam wasn't sure because the risks were nerve damage and being bedridden. However, after nearly going out through a gunshot, Liam has decided he does want more time, even if it comes with risks. Liam specifically mentioned staying around for his little girls, Beth Spencer and Kelly Spencer. Resilience and challenge. Bridget and Finn. The two will talk about the recent medical cases, including Luna's death and Liam's survival. By this time, Bridget and Finn should find out about Liam's surgery. However, it will be the following day and at a different hospital. With Liam going missing later in the week, I wonder if not everyone is told about the surgery? Bridget Forrester's admiration. The Bold and the Beautiful reveal that Bridget and Finn will be in awe. Both doctors will comment on Liam's resilience after everything he's gone through. Not only has he struggled with a brain tumor, but is only thinking about others since the diagnosis. Then, despite still having that brain tumor, he was shot while saving Steffi Forrester Finnegan. That certainly is very miraculous. The Bold and the Beautiful is Luna hiding an identical twin? Discover the new Rana character's major twist. 5. Fans might also see what has really happened with Luna. Did she really die as Lee Finnegan claimed? The last time we saw Luna, she was alone with Lee, but was alive and got through surgery. Then, she suddenly died in recovery? When Sheila Carter-Sharp asked for details, Finn just told her to focus on her own recovery. Meanwhile, Brooke Logan has some big decisions to make. Will Brooke fly to Italy with Jack Marone? The Bold and the Beautiful reveals that John Finn Finnegan and Bridget Forrester are growing increasingly suspicious about the unorthodox medical treatments taking place at the hospital, particularly involving Liam Spencer's brain tumor diagnosis and subsequent experimental procedure. As the story unfolds, Grace Buckingham becomes a central figure in a swirling vortex of mystery, professional misconduct, and hidden agendas. Her actions come into question when she receives a transfer of $1 million and exhibits behavior that is anything but transparent. Nick Marone, meanwhile, has returned with romantic intentions, aiming to win back Brooke Logan. Despite Brooke's lingering attachment to Ridge Forrester, who is currently engaged to Taylor Hayes, Nick refuses to give up and proposes a fresh start, beginning with a trip to Italy. This romantic subplot adds a lighter yet emotionally complex layer to the tense hospital drama surrounding Liam. Back in the hospital, Liam is still recovering from a gunshot wound sustained while trying to protect Steffi Forrester. On top of this trauma, Liam is told he has an inoperable brain tumor. Bill Spencer, desperate for redemption and to save his son, clings to Grace's suggestion that there is hope through a risky, experimental treatment. Grace seizes this opportunity, pushing Liam into surgery despite concerns from others. Finn and Bridget are not so easily convinced. In a private conversation, they share their worries about the procedure not following standard medical protocols. Their alarm bells ring louder when they realize they were kept out of the loop about key details. While Finn, whose emotional investment is increased by Liam's relationship with Steffi, is determined to uncover the truth, Bridget, who is experienced and methodical, is particularly disturbed by the absence of oversight. At the same time, Grace is seen in her office, staring at her phone with a look of relief after a $1 million transfer is confirmed. The implications of this payment are staggering. Is Grace being manipulated by outside forces, or is she a willing participant in a dangerous scheme? Speculation grows that Grace may be entangled with a shady pharmaceutical company, perhaps coerced into using Liam as a guinea pig for a high-risk treatment protocol. Even more troubling is the possibility that Liam never had a brain tumor to begin with, and that Grace has orchestrated a complete con. As Liam undergoes the surgery, Bridget and Finn marvel at his resilience and selflessness. Despite facing what he believes is a terminal diagnosis, Liam is motivated by his desire to be there for his daughters, Beth and Kelly. His heroic effort in protecting Steffi only deepens the admiration from his medical team. Yet, beneath there all lies growing concern that Liam is being subjected to a dangerous and unnecessary procedure. In the wider narrative, Luna Nozawa's alleged death adds another layer of mystery. Last seen alive post-surgery and under Lee Finnegan's care, Luna's abrupt death in recovery raises eyebrows. Finn brushes off Sheila Carter-Sharp's inquiries, fueling suspicions that Luna's fate may not be as final as reported. Could she be in hiding? And if so, what role does Lee play in her disappearance? As the week progresses, more pieces of the puzzle begin to align. Grace's connection to her ex-husband, Reese Buckingham, a man with a known history of medical and ethical transgressions, comes to light. Investigators, possibly hired by Bill, start connecting the dots. The $1 million transfer may be a payoff related to Reese's debts or part of a larger scheme to use Liam as a test subject in an unapproved clinical trial. The developments lead to escalating tension within the hospital. Finn and Bridget may confront Grace directly, demanding answers and threatening to report her actions to the medical board. Bill, initially grateful for Grace's supposed efforts, is likely to explode with fury upon learning that his son may have been the victim of a calculated scam. Meanwhile, Brooke faces a decision about whether to accompany Nick to Italy. Her loyalty to Ridge is tested, but the allure of a romantic Italian escape and Nick's persuasive charm may tip the scales. The backdrop of Ridge's engagement to Taylor and the unfolding chaos at the hospital make Brooke's choice all the more compelling. As the story continues to unfold, viewers can expect explosive confrontations, heartbreak, and potentially criminal consequences. Grace's actions could have ripple effects across multiple families, and if it turns out Liam was never ill, the fallout could permanently damage relationships, reputations, and trust within the Forrester, Logan, and Spencer families. The Bold and the Beautiful promises a dramatic reckoning as the truth comes to light. Will Grace be held accountable for her actions? Can Finn and Bridget expose the conspiracy before it's too late? And will Bill find a way to protect his son, or has he unwittingly delivered Liam into the hands of a dangerous fraud? Stay tuned for more drama, deception, and shocking revelations on CBS's long-running daytime soap.